That's what I said. What I got.
I don't need y'all judgment. I don't need y'all judgment.
His whole place is shoes and a bed. That's it. There's nothing else.
That's all I need. That's all. And I have food. I have a TV, and I'm good. Hold on. Let me see if this is working. Why am I not hearing it recording right now?
It is.
Is it recording?
It's saying this meeting is recording.
Okay, I didn't hear it.
It says at the top of the screen, it's showing it.
Okay, cool. All right, so I'll do the start. So welcome, ladies and gentlemen. You are tuned into the Originals Sports Podcast. I am one of your hosts, Big Mike, my other host, Smooth. We have a special guest as well. So we started this last week doing talking about sports and all the fun stuff that is involved in it, but we didn't actually do an intro about us in the midst of the excitement of talking about sports. Me and Smooth are so excited to do this podcast that we forgot to really introduce ourselves and what the hell we're going to be talking about. So I'll go last because I'll be the gentleman. So we have a special guest though. We have a celebrity actually. So we're going to shout her out.
Don't do that.
She is a celebrity. We're gonna do that. She's a celebrity. So she hails from right now. She currently is in California. She's one of our homies, and she worked for Yahoo Sports. She's also worked for the NFL Network. So she is a knowledgeable expert on most sports, if not all sports. I'll say all sports. Why not? We'll just say all sports. We'll say all sports. So give it up for Alice Mitchell, a.k.a. NFL Girl. Thank you for blessing us on the pod.
Thank you.
So do you want to give the people a little bit of an intro into you about what you do, your knowledge, and and then I'll roll with Smooth as well after that. But we'll give you your chance to introduce, seeing that you're our lovely guest.
So as Mike just said to you guys, I'm originally from DC, actually. So I am a Yeah, I don't know why you skipped that. I am sadly, a Wizards and Nationals fan. I am happily a Capitals fan. I'm trying to Jaden Daniels is winning me over as far as the Commanders, but and now that Daniel Snyder's out, I'm kind of moving in the direction of not hating them at least. But I am a Denver Broncos fan first and foremost. So my degree is in communications with a concentration in sports journalism. I've worked for the NFL Network. I've worked for Fox Sports. And for the last 5 years, I've been with Yahoo Sports. People always ask me what I do. The term is called mobile notifications editor. Specifically, those little notifications that pop up on your phone after the games are over, that's me. There's an actual human being doing those, and I am that human being if you have the Yahoo Sports app.
This is what she does all day, is just watch sports.
All day.
She's living the dream that 90% of men would love to have. I would love to have her job. If she could give me her job, I would do your job gladly.
No, thank you.
See, of course not. She's not doing a bad job.
And I absolutely will not switch with your job. So no.
Oh God, no, please no. No one should switch with my job.
No, sir. No, thank you. Absolutely not.
All right. Thank you so much for the intro. So Smooth, we'll have to do a reintroduction again. So why don't you introduce yourself, talk about your sports teams and all that good stuff.
Absolutely. Smooth. Thank you, Big Mike, and glad to see you back in action, NFL Girl, because we all met on this sports app called Halftime. And
R.I.P. Halftime.
Although Halftime is no longer here, it brought good people together. So I'm appreciative of that. Once again, I'm Smooth. I'm from Baltimore, Maryland, but I live in Atlanta, Georgia now. My sports teams exist of a variety of things, right? Philadelphia Eagles, number 1. Los Angeles Lakers, number 2.
Oh, God.
North Carolina Tar Heels for basketball. Florida State for football. And the Cincinnati Reds for baseball. So I have a variety of things. And then also for women's basketball, go Gamecocks, go Dawn Staley. She's a wonderful representation of young Black women, and she's doing it the right way. Came into South Carolina and is on a smashing record. They're playing for the SEC championship as we speak. So big shouts out to Dawn Staley. I'm an avid sports fan, as you can see, with a variety of sports. I love sports, fantasy sports, all sports. And I'm just here to bless you with my sports knowledge and everybody else who will have on the show knowledge, and to make you think. We're not going to be a cookie cutter type situation. We're just going to tell the truth. So truth tellers, welcome in.
Awesome. Great intro right there. So actually we also are supposed to have 3 hosts. So it's me, Smooth, and VO, but VO is he's busy doing other things.
MIA.
He's MIA. Hopefully he'll join. I'm shaming him by sharing posts and telling him to join. And I'm always trying to say, hey, whenever you're ready to get on. So whenever VO decides to bless us, our other brother, hopefully he'll get on, but that's neither here nor there. So I'm Big Mike. I'm the other host of the lovely original sports pod. So I'm in Toronto. I bring the international flavor because all these Americans here, I like to bring the international flavor. So I am from the lovely Toronto, Canada. I lived in the States for a bit, but I am from Toronto, born and raised for the most part. I am a Toronto sports fan. Okay, so that includes the Raptors, Blue Jays, Maple Leafs. Go Leafs! We'll see. Screw your Capitals. Leafs are winning this year. We're gonna talk. We'll probably get into that at some point, NFL girl. But I'm just saying right now.
Please try. Please try.
Oh, we're gonna do it. This is happening.
Let's do it.
I knew as soon as you came on, you were gonna like talk your shit about your Capitals. I knew it. I was.
Bro, you were sitting here with the Raptors hat on right now, and you lost to the Wizards.
I do not care. I am
monkey ass Wizards who ain't even won a dozen games.
I cannot.
Now they won a dozen games because they beat y'all last night.
Don't do that. So, don't do that. Listen, I couldn't wear my Maple Leafs gear because
Finish your intro.
All right, we'll talk after. So I'm an avid Toronto sports fan. Although my Raptors lost, still riding with the Raptors. We're tanking. It's okay. I am an avid Michigan Wolverines football fanatic, psychopath. Love that team. And I'm unfortunately a Tennessee Titans football fan. I know it's a little rough for me right now. And I like soccer as well. I'm a TFC fan. They suck too. So it's a bit sports right now is just hurting for me right now. I'm in Michigan. That's the only thing I'm looking forward to. That's it. Is Michigan Wolverines football season because the basketball right now, good Lord, So right now, that's all I have to look forward to. And the Maple Leafs playoffs. Hopefully, we'll see what happens. But that is it. That's my little spiel about sports and all that good stuff. So we just, like I said, we're not a hot take podcast. If you want hot takes, go watch First Take. First Take is for all the hot takes. If you want that, but we don't do that here. We're going to try to give you informed opinions and based off our thoughts and our knowledge and rationale and all that good stuff. But I want to get into something that someone had made a comment on one of our shorts, and in relation to a comment that Smooth made about Deebo Samuel. So I'm going to shout him out. This name is kind of wild. So Shark Deep Water 8 on YouTube, great name. Smooth had made comments basically saying that Deebo was a gadget receiver, and Deep Shark commented saying, Eagles fan here, Deebo is absolutely a receiver. Defenses defended him with double dragon trails, whatever that means. So Smooth, do you care to respond to this lovely person's comment on our posts?
Absolutely. If we want to be technical about it, it only worked because he was in the Kyle Shanahan system. Now he goes to the Washington Commanders. He hasn't been a tight flight receiver for a few years now. If you look at the statistics, he hasn't had really 1,000-yard receiving since about 3 or 4 years ago. He's a shell of himself because all he does is gadget plays. You don't put primetime receivers in the backfield to run 5 or 6 times a game. You don't do that. So if you look at the history, do you see A.J. Brown, Justin Jefferson, any of these players in the backfield for five or more plays getting the ball handoffs? No, because he brings injury risk. And that's why he's been injured so many times in the last few years. Now he's going to go over to Washington and he's going to be a gadget player. I guarantee you, because they will draft a player, they will draft another receiver to put on the outside, Scary Terry on the other side, and he will be that gadget player for another person that they believe is an offensive guru. That's going to use him the same way Kyle Shanahan does. Just watch, wait and watch, and you'll see. So, I mean, if you want to come on the show and have a discussion about it, you can. Come on, let's have a discussion. Let's have a facts discussion, not just a fans discussion. Let's have a facts discussion.
NFL girl, do you have any thoughts on Deebo Samuel in terms of whether you think he's a gadget receiver or he's an actual receiver, or what do you feel about that?
They've admitted that the reason they brought him over was to bring him over as a slot receiver. So he wasn't even being brought in as the WR2. You understand? So there's no thoughts of that. He is more of a gadget type receiver. They will play him in the backfield sometimes, like as an RB2 situation, or, if CMC goes down, they'll have him in that type of position. So I do agree. Like I said, and if you listen to what they've said when they brought him in, that was absolutely what they plan on having him do, was play more gadget role and be a slot receiver, not a WR2. That was never the thought in their head.
Okay, fair enough. I can't argue. I did, when me and Smooth had the conversation, I was like, I was like, nah, you know what? That's fair. I can't disagree because for the most part, he was using the backfield, doing all this other stuff. Wasn't like as a primary wide receiver 1 or 2. So I can't disagree with that. Yeah, go on.
And you can see the relationship that Jaden Daniels already has with Terry McLaurin. They're not going to break up that dynamic. They play very well together. They had a phenomenal season.
Oh yeah,
together.
I agree with that absolutely.
And if Jaden Daniels could have it, he's friends with Ayuk. He wouldn't have got Debo. So he got Ayuk because Ayuk is a receiver. And that's what he needs, a receiver to help Scary Terry because Scary Terry's getting double teamed. And that's why he had to go to Zach Ertz so much this year.
Right.
Exactly. No. But they're not going to get Brandon Ayuk. That's not happening.
No.
Absolutely not.
but NFL Girl, I heard that they had put Debo and Ayuk on the block, possibly, because they're trying to get under that cap so they can play Brock Purdy. So maybe that's an option, but it may have to be something that you have to give them something heavy to get Ayuk.
Yeah, they would have to give up a lot, and I don't know that they have a lot that they can give up right now.
And in fairness, remember me and you, Smooth, talked about the money for Brock Purdy in terms of 40. Mm-hmm. I said 45 million. And they actually are saying they're looking at trying to pay him 45, which is lowball, according to reports, which I mean, okay, we could talk about Brock Purdy. Why not? Let's just talk about Brock Purdy. Do we think Brock Purdy should get the full whatever bag of the market? So, okay, NFL Girl, you're running the 49ers. How much are you willing to offer Brock Purdy per year?
See, now that's not fair because unfortunately the market right now is in that $45 to $50 million a year range. And you need a prime example of that. Then you look at someone like Dak Prescott, where you're like,
60.
There's no way this man is worth $60 million, but that's where the market is. So is Brock Purdy going to get like 45, potentially as much as 50, 52 million? Absolutely. But that's just where the market is. Now, if I was building a team from scratch, would I pay someone like him that kind of money? Absolutely not.
So what do you feel is worth this? What do you feel is worth this?
30, 32. I don't think he's proven himself enough yet. I know that sounds cold, but again, isn't part of it whether or not you can take your team to the playoffs, win championships and stuff like that? I'm not saying that he didn't take his team to, all the way there or whatever, but did you get over the hump?
And is he the biggest reason why they're doing that?
Bingo.
If you put another competent, capable quarterback in that system, do they have equal or same success?
Exactly. Because keep in mind the year that they went there, they did end up getting all the way to the championship. Think about how they got there. It was because of their defense.
Yeah.
It was not because of their offense.
That is true. Smooth, what say you? How much do you feel that Brock Purdy should get if you were running the Niners?
So the way I look at it is, you was the last pick in the draft. So whatever you get is really great because you was the last pick in the draft and you never thought you would have this success. Fortunately for you, you went into a system where they had a quarterback that wasn't doing anything, so you got an opportunity. But the main thing I know about him is he can't carry that team because CMC got hurt. What did he look like?
True.
So he is a person that can make throws, but do you ever see him throw the ball deep? It's short passes, precise passes, in a type of system that if you put him somewhere else, how valuable would he be?
He's not pushing the ball consistently deep, but he'll throw it maybe 3 or 4 times in a game.
Yeah, about 15 yards. So when you're looking at paying a quarterback, you're paying a quarterback to take you somewhere. I don't think he has the ability for you to jump on his back and he carry you.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm looking at $35 million a year.
Right.
He should be happy because if he try to go out on the open market, he will get $20 million because nobody values him. Only San Francisco values him. Only
San Francisco. Okay.
Yeah, under Shanahan because he's a great caller and he puts him in a position to be successful.
Okay. I mean, for me, I don't disagree with you guys. I mean, if we're looking at what I would value him at, I'd probably say about maybe 35, maybe 38, between 35 and 40s. Let's go 37.5 just to, sweeten the pot a little bit, give him a little extra $2 million. But no, I agree. I like Brock Purdy. I think he's a good quarterback. But again, I'm interested to see if he was in a different system, how he would be. Because I think Shanahan is probably one of the best play callers in the league. And I think he benefits from that. I think also having Brandon Ayuk at the time when healthy, Deebo Samuel when healthy, CMC when healthy, George Kittle when healthy, a good running game, good offensive blocking scheme. I think a lot of those things factor in. You put him with, I don't know, the Cleveland Browns, let's say. How well is he going to be in the Cleveland Browns? Although Cleveland Browns, we're going to talk about the Cleveland Browns. But yeah, like that's the thing. I think that's where it is. And I think it's, I mean, to NFL Girl's point, I think it's the market, unfortunately, that dictates it. So I don't think 45 million is a disrespectful offer. To your Smooth's point, I think anything above what you were getting as a rookie, I think, hey, you've hit the lotto, my friend. So you should ideally take it or take less. But obviously, he's going to probably try to take what he can get in terms of the market. So, I mean, probably I would say I'd be shocked. I mean, if I don't think the Niners are going to go above 45, I would be concerned if they did, because I don't think, to NFL, you guys' point, I don't think he's a game changer to warrant that amount of money. But I guess we'll wait and see.
It starts on Monday. It starts on Monday, right?
Starts on Monday. It's going to be madness. So let's talk about Mr. Garrett, Myles Garrett, the Cleveland Browns edge rusher, where Smooth 2 weeks ago, me and him talked about him potentially going to the Eagles. Well, that is not happening, because apparently the Cleveland Browns said we are going to make Myles Garrett the highest paid non-quarterback in the NFL. So NFL Girl, was it a 4-year deal or a 3-year deal? I'm not sure.
I think it's 4 and 40.
4 and 40. So 160 million over 4 years. God, only in America, boy. Good for him, though. Shout out to Myles Garrett. There's a lot of layers to this story. So we'll let that. So NFL Girl, what are your thoughts on the Browns signing Myles Garrett? A, and B, what now do you think that they do in the draft, given that they have the 2nd overall pick?
Oh dear God! I would hope they get a quarterback, but they're kind of.
I would hope so.
Oh Lord! Listen, that team is a dumpster fire on so many different levels, and it starts all the way at the top with ownership. The Haslams are terrible owners. They're the type of owners that are like, listen, we do this for the money. We are not doing this to put a great product out on the field, because there's no way they make that deal with Deshaun Watson, and they're stuck with him. They can't
for 2
trade
years,
him.
Yeah.
Right. They can't trade him. They can't cut him because they still owe him that money regardless. So whether or not they're going to have him there as a backup, as a backup.
I guess.
QB,
I mean, they restructured his deal, I believe. So they set it up where the minimum is this year. And then next year he's getting, 46 million?
46 million. There's still a lot of money to sit on somebody's bench. So I think part of that plays into why Garrett wanted out of that situation, because he knows in the back of his mind, this team is never going to improve.
They're not.
They're just not. You know what I mean? And what are you playing for at this point? Are you playing for money, or are you playing because you want to win championships? You have to consider that at the end of the day. Now, he's young enough that he can do something like what Bradley Beal did to the Wizards and, cash in, get all that dough, and then go somewhere where you think you can win a championship. I think that's more of what Myles Garrett did here in this situation, where it's like, let me go ahead and get the bag, because he's going to get the bag from them. Do I think that's going to improve their situation? Not at all. Because their situation, I never have thought that it was their defense that's been their issue to begin with. Myles Garrett is a phenomenal player, but you're playing with trash offense who cannot settle their quarterback situation. Their quarterback literally said, I ain't here to play. I'm not here to be a rushing quarterback.
Oh,
that's
not
my
job.
I'm not trying. He absolutely said that. He said, I'm not a running back. Bruh, what are we doing here? So you're not even giving us the RPO. What are we talking about? Like, what are we doing? And so it's just, it's a situation with, I understand why he would take the deal, because he could put himself up on the market and not get that kind of money. The Haslams will pay him that kind of money because they know the value he is to that team. Does he carry that same kind of value if he goes somewhere else? He risks not getting $40 million going somewhere else. And so I understand, take the bag, but understand that you're still putting yourself in a situation with a team that is in no way, shape, or form going to improve over the next 3 years.
Yeah. Do you think they're still the fourth worst? Do you still think they're the worst team in that division, or the Bengals?
Oh God, the Bengals problem is Burrow can't stay healthy. That's what I feel like their biggest issue is. They have good receivers and stuff like that, The Browns are just a straight up dumpster fire. Like I said, from the top down, it's problems with them. They're going to Stefanski maybe gets another year. They'll fire him. They'll bring in a new head coach and a lather, rinse, repeat with them. Like I said, because of the ownership situation, that's where their problems lie. And so I don't think that they're going to make any necessary improvements. I would love to see them use that draft pick on maybe an old lineman, or even better, I still would love to see them pick up a QB there or whatever. But does that QB become the starter? Because they still talking like they want Deshaun Watson at some point to be the starter again.
What?
They would like, because of how much they're paying him. Listen, do you want to pay somebody $46 million next year to be your backup? Listen to what we just talked about with the Brock Purdy situation. You're going to pay this man to be your back, the same amount of money that they're paying Brock Purdy potentially as the starter in San Francisco. You understand? So that's the issue that I have. So good luck to Myles Garrett. I think he did the right thing as far as getting the bag or whatever. But do I think that the situation is going to improve and he's going to be able to go after a championship in these next 3-4 years? Absolutely not.
Okay. Smooth. What say you, sir? How do you feel about the signing, and where do you think this leaves the Browns with their pick now at the second pick?
I got a different perspective, right? You come out and say that you want to win, and you ask for a trade, and then you take a contract. So that means you were bluffing. Because if you really wanted out, you would have stated your position. $40 million to go through the same thing. You said you've been on that team for 9 to 10 years and only been in the playoffs twice. So now you're going to be on there for 13 years and only go to the playoffs twice. So what did you accomplish by taking that $40 million? Nothing. You let the ownership bully you because Barry said we're not trading you. So you caved in. Opposed to standing, if you just stood up and said, I'm not playing for this organization again, they would have had no choice but to trade you. But you allowed the negotiations to go on, even though you said that you weren't going to play for them again. And then they threw $40 million at you. For you to be out there as a one-man show, you might get hurt, and then you will never be in a position to be successful. Now, as far as that second pick, I think they will go out and get a veteran quarterback so they don't have to worry about, going through that transition, because Stefanski got Coach of the Year for what a couple times. I'm like, for what? What did you get Coach of the Year for? So that goes to show you how the NFL just gives awards out. Now, they'll go get a veteran quarterback to make them somewhat successful, so that way Myles Garrett can feel happy that he made that decision. At the number 2 pick, they'll get Travis Hunter and try to make him into a cornerback wide receiver duo. That's what they'll do, because that's the kind of organization they are. As far as Cincinnati, they have a quarterback, so they're always going to be in contention. But their problem is they wait too long to pay people. You waited too long to pay your receivers. You already put the franchise tag on Higgins one time. Now you're going to pay him $26 million this time, and you want your top receiver to be the highest paid player at the position. So Chase, you didn't sign him early. Unlike other organizations that say, let's get ahead of this, they're the last to know. It's like they wasn't in the room with everybody else and got the information. It's like they was late to a meeting, and then the meeting was over, and all the information that was shared with other owners, they missed. Because if you knew that Chase was that kind of player, why not play him early? So now you're waiting till the Justin Jefferson deals and all this other stuff come out, and now you're going to have to pay premium price when you could have played 2 years early. So they don't understand how to run business. Even though they have Cool Joe, they always want to be behind the 8 ball because they don't know how to conduct business.
Yeah, I mean, it's almost like the Blue Jays with Vladdy with that paying him or trying to pay him late or negotiate now, whatever the fuck. But that's neither here nor there. I mean, I understand both your points. I think for me, I think it would have been hard. I mean, as much as Myles Garrett, I do agree with you, Smooth, about the whole him caving. I also think it would have probably been harder for him to hold out as long because they would have just fined the shit out of him. And the question becomes, are you willing to stand on that principle and pay those fines, knowing that they're going to fine your ass and they're not, and they basically dug in and they didn't even want to meet with him. So I understand that. I think to both of your points, they're not going to win anything at this point. I think these 4 years are going to basically be Myles Garrett's going to get like, let's say 14 to 17 and a half sacks on a losing team that's going to lose perpetually every year. I mean, there might be one year where they might be 9-8, maybe at best. They're a 9-8 team at their peak right now. The second pick, I mean, I don't even know who the hell they're going to pick at this point. I mean, it could be Travis Hunter. If I'm Shedeur, I would probably boycott. I wouldn't want to go to that situation at all. I'd pull an Eli Manning. I would say, Dion, my daddy, tell him I don't want to come to this organization, please, Lord Jesus. Like, I think if you're a young quarterback, I wouldn't want to go there. It's just too much of a dumpster fire. But again, you're paying Deshaun $46 million. That's going to be an albatross, and it's just going to be a distraction all year. And so I guess, yeah, you take the best player. I guess you take Travis Hunter because, I mean, Abdul Carter's hurt. Unless you want to draft Abdul Carter and have like a two-man edge rushing duo or whatever the hell and make that make sense. But I don't see them doing that. I think Travis Hunter's probably more marketable. That can get the fan base more involved because, hey, he's going to be playing offense and defense, and then it's going to get fans to buy their jerseys and merch and all that shit. So I could see them doing that. And again, I think with Shedeur, I don't know if his draft stock has dropped because of what he said in the combine all of a sudden. Now they don't like him apparently. So I don't know if that hurt his stock. So yeah, the Cleveland Browns is probably one of the worst situations right now. Deshaun's situation's a shit show. And until he's gone from the league, because I don't see him getting signed. To your point, Smith, that you made last week, I think his career's done. I think once this contract is done, if a team signs him, they have lost every part of their mind. Because what the hell are you signing Deshaun Watson to do? To not play quarterback good? Is that what you're doing? Then great. Then sign him. But if you're signing him to, he's not going to do that. But it's a mess. The Cleveland Browns are a mess. If you're a Cleveland Browns fan, I'm sorry we're dumping all over your team right now, but you need to get.
I'm not.
NFL girl is it? So yeah, I'm sorry, not sorry. Get a new team. Ohio's already a dumpster fire for football, in my opinion, because even Ohio State fans are weird. But that's another pod for another day. We're not even going to get into that stuff. So let's talk about NFL free agency, shall we? We'll talk about a little NFL free agency. I know Smooth wants to talk about his Eagles. We'll wait because I know he's they won the since they won the Super Bowl and since we did the pod, Smooth has been smoothly talking his shit. Let's say that, and he can. His team won the Super Bowl, can't say shit. You know, that's what happens. So I'll let him go. So NFL girl, what free agent moves have you liked so far? What free agent moves do you see happening? And kind of what's your take on the NFL free agency so far, or what's going to happen, you think?
I feel like it's going to get a lot more hectic. Again, we're just seeing these small minor moves. Nothing big or phenomenal has really stood out to me. Mm-hmm. A lot of, it's been a lot of the smaller moves that I've appreciated them, you know, even Commanders doing stuff like, you know, bringing Zach Ertz back on a 1-year deal and stuff like that. These little smaller deals that, while it seems like it may not be that impactful in the long term or whatever, actually do make all the difference in the world. Even I know I got to give Smooth's team some credit, even just for, you know, re-signing Zach Bond and stuff
Pains
like that.
Me to admit it. I don't even want to give Smooth any credit.
I know, but
I will give him his flowers.
Absolutely, that was a genius move for them. That was a really good signing. For them.
I mean, they released Darius Slay too, which was surprising but made sense in the grand scheme.
It does. It absolutely did make sense, or whatever. As far as, you know, ones that were kind of broke my heart a little bit, I think Seattle parting ways with Tyler Lockett, even though it makes sense. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. Tyler Lockett's numbers have gone down. He's getting older. That's not a position where you can have an older guy back there unless he's like your WR3 or WR4 coming in off the bench. And so I understood why they went ahead and made that move, but you know, it's kind of hard when you see somebody play at one place for so long to see them get cut that way or whatever. So yeah, I feel like he will get picked up, but just somewhere where he'll be a backup to a backup's backup, you know, like a WR4 or slot. Maybe the situation.
Titans go and sign Tyler Lockett, please. Go sign him. Just get him, please.
Poor Titans. Poor Titans. Oh.
I don't want to talk about the Titans.
Every time I see,
fucking irritate me.
Every time I see AJ Brown,
don't even.
Every time I see him, man's just won a Super Bowl. It's just. I'm sorry.
An NFL girl. And that quarterback, Will Levis, is on a mayonnaise commercial doing splits.
My goodness. Ooh.
The fact that sorry, we're going to deviate. The fact that Will Levis got a commercial It's just only in America, only in y'all country can a quarterback get drafted in the second round, do barely anything, and get a Hellman's commercial because he puts mayonnaise in coffee. And they're like, you know what? Let's make this into a commercial. When he has done nothing. He did nothing to warrant any of that success. It just Jesus Christ. I just want the draft. I just want Tennessee to just decide, are you going to draft if you're going to keep the pick or you're going to trade the pick? Just get it over with, please.
Honestly, I would prefer to see them trade down and get more picks because again, you went Will Levis and you went Malik Willis, and like, what are we doing? Are you just gonna keep drafting QBs every year? Y'all gonna bring in Shador now? I mean, come on, let's just keep going. Running down whatever QB comes out every year. Somebody's got to hit, right? Y'all like Detroit Lions back in the day when they just kept drafting receivers every year.
See, I'm getting like
NFL girl. Malik Willis looked great in Green Bay for those couple games, though. So I think it has something to do with coaching.
He did. Yeah, it's coaching.
It's absolutely coaching there. Absolutely coaching.
We're gonna, you know what? Fuck it. We're gonna talk about the Titans now. Don't get me started on this fucking team. I'm trying not to curse. It's a Sunday. Go on.
Hold up, Big Mike. Let me get my take.
Go ahead. Get your shit in, and then I'll rant about my Titans. Go on.
Let's talk about free agency. Come on, yes, let's go.
Yeah. So they also have DK Metcalf requested a trade, and they traded Geno Smith to the Raiders. So, like, what are they doing? I don't understand. I think now they're going to go after Sam Darnold, and I'm like, Sam Darnold, Geno Smith. What's the difference?
Not much of a difference.
What's the difference?
There's not much of a difference.
You trade Geno to the Raiders for a third-round pick. Then you're going to go and pay Sam Darnold $40 million to be a quarterback. Your record is going to be the same. You made no changes. So I don't really understand that.
Yeah.
Then Washington signing Bobby Wagner to a 1-year deal is big for them as well. You have to have a leader in the middle of your defense. I'm surprised they made the trade for Debo, but that's neither here nor there.
Listen, they needed a slot receiver. I'm not going to dismiss that. What they think they're getting.
He had to dig. He had to get that little dig in really quick.
He's making sure he's going after NFC East teams every way that he can. If we're going to do that, let's go after the Cowboys.
It's easier to go against the Cowboys because, they do so many dumb things. So it's really not mentioned. It's no need for me to talk about them.
That is true.
For that, when Dak came out and said, we're close to the Eagles, we beat the Eagles, I think we're right there. You could tell he has amnesia. Or he's been sleeping on the Sleep Master from his commercial too long and don't have a good memory because what are you talking about? You have won, I think, 2 playoff games in your career.
That's correct.
And you're killing your cap by having a $60 million contract. You should have declined that and said, I need players around me so we can win. But what did you do, company man? You took the $60 million. So, like, talking about the Cowboys is a waste of time. Enough people talk about them. So I'm gonna leave them be.
Okay.
But as far as Tennessee, you got to trade that pick, like we talked about the other day.
We did.
Big Mike.
We did have that conversation.
You got to trade that pick, and you have a great person. The Giants are enamored with Shador, so they'll trade up. So you better be on the phones with them because they're also a crazy franchise with Dabo, who's about to lose his job, and they're trying to make something happen. So if they trade with you guys to get the 3rd pick or whatever, or move down, then they can draft Travis Hunter. If Cleveland doesn't draft him, then you'll have Neighbors and Hunter, and you get a free agent quarterback or Shador to come in there where he's accurate. Then you're making some moves. I mean, we know you botched the Saquon Barkley, whatever you want to call him. You botched that, and you gave him up to the Eagles, and then the Eagles once again doing something.
Well, remember they did that because they paid Danny Dimes.
Yeah, absolutely.
My guy Danny Pennies.
Danny Pennies, baby.
How'd that work out for y'all?
He's chilling.
Exactly.
You paid him because he had 12 touchdowns and 5 interceptions that year. And you guys beat Kirk Cousins in the first round of playoffs. So you paid him that money.
That's man. That money, so that playoff shit. He ran that when he ran that ball in on that touchdown, they were like, we gotta give him all the money.
That's fool's gold. Anybody could beat Kirk Cousins. He's not a winner, but I give Kirk Cousins credit. Whoever his agent is, please give me your number because I want to understand how you negotiate.
He's the GOAT.
For that guy to continue to make money And right now, even though he was awful for Atlanta, they bringing his name up as somebody that can help an organization.
Or they're going to let him sit as a backup, Atlanta also. They're prepared to do that, which baffles my brain as well.
Kirk has already come out and said he wants to be a starter somewhere. So, hey, go ahead, Cleveland Browns. There's your veteran QB.
Problem solved. Look at us. Look at us on the pod. We're solving problems, Cleveland. Go and get your Kirk Cousins. There you go.
So, that Zach Bond is essential for Vic Fangio's defense. Yes. So I knew that was going to be the number one option. Them letting go of Slay, he might come back later because he said he only wants to play for Detroit or the Eagles. Yes. So that might be a cost saving. Getting rid of Bradbury contract as well. June 1st post release.
Nice.
And then Becton is going to be next. I'm telling you, Becton is going to be next.
Mm-hmm.
And then after that, Nakobe Dean might not be available next year or come back middle of the year. So they got to solve that linebacker problem. So you might bring, the other guy. They might bring another Eagle back. Or they might draft somebody. You also got Trotter. If he's ready to start, then you'll have Trotter.
Yes, Trotter for Ella Trotter.
They are in a great position because they drafted well and had pieces behind pieces, knowing that retirement was about to happen. So I feel comfortable. And then you also have Jalen Hurts, who says, you can talk bad about me, but I win. So I'm cool with that. It ain't got to look pretty, but as long as you win, that's all that matters. The only quarterback that went to the Super Bowl and was able to make it back to the Super Bowl. 1 out of 3. So history speaks to itself. Truth is truth.
Yeah. So we go from the best team last year that won the Super Bowl to the worst team in the NFL, my team that has the number 1 overall pick. You're
not the worst team.
Okay, well, we're worst by record. By technicality of the record, we're the worst team because we have the number 1 pick. I'm saying it from that perspective. Cleveland's a dumpster fire. There's a lot of other teams that are dumpster fires, but Tennessee, by record, is the worst team.
Jacksonville as well, too.
Jacksonville's a mess as well, which is great for me because, I hate Jacksonville. But that's neither here nor there. Tennessee's done much of nothing, and they let Harold Landry seek a trade. So, hey, God bless you, Harold Landry. Hope you go to a good team. Again, I think for me, like me and Smooth, we've had this conversation the past 2 weeks about these fucking Titans, unfortunately, and what they should do. And because we've blow it up. Didn't we already blow it up already when we got rid of AJ Brown and Derrick Henry? We've already blown it up. I don't think there's any ground left to blow up. It's just like a big crater at this point that we're blowing up. We're just blowing up a crater. I guess, yeah. I mean, I don't know. I think trading the pick would make sense. I think we need to get talent. We need to infuse this roster with as much talented players as possible because we don't really have much beyond Jeffrey Simmons. That's the only player that I feel like I'm a fan of, love his game. He's been consistent. He's signed long-term. Everything like Will Levis, I guess we're going to have to trot him out for another year unless we sign a vet. But in terms of free agency outside of my shitty Titans, I think it's been good. I think the Zach Bond signing, I'll give you flowers. I thought that was a good look for the Eagles. Good job. I'll give you your flowers when you're right. I'm interested to see, for example, if let's say they sign, Aaron Rodgers gets signed, for example, if a team is going to pull the trigger and sign his ass. That's what I'm curious to see. Out of all the quarterbacks, he's the one that I'm like, are the Giants going to be stupid enough to sign him to any deal, any contract whatsoever? I don't even know. Or is he going to go to the Vikings, which I've heard, which I think is kind of odd as well. I can see it, but it's kind of odd to do that. Just a weird free agency. I'm curious that I think Aaron Rodgers, out of all the free agent moves so far, I'm curious about if a team is going to be dumb enough to pull the trigger and sign Aaron Rodgers to play quarterback or attempt to play quarterback for them next season.
Yeah, I forgot one. The Max Crosby deal. What do y'all think about that?
I guess they kind of had to, even though, he's a disruptive player, but how much do they pay him?
3-year, 105. Is that right, NFL girl?
Yes.
33 million?
Mm-hmm.
I like Max Crosby, and I guess I get it from a perspective of you want to sign your best player, but I don't know. I don't, again, to your point, it's like with Myles Garrett, that doesn't do anything winning.
It doesn't move the needle.
Yeah.
that wasn't your biggest issue. Do you think that the question is do you think bringing in Geno Smith is going to be the answer to solve your offensive problems? And I can hear Smooth laughing.
I guess if nothing else, I guess it stabilizes the quarterback position. And if that's the goal to stabilize it, because you had Gardner Minshew and Aiden O'Connell out there last year, and they were just god awful. And then you had even Desmond Ridder, who was even more awful. So I guess you're like, well, if we get Geno Smith, okay, but I mean, are you? To your point, it's a lateral move. If nothing else, it just stabilizes. It doesn't. You're not winning the division. You're not beating the Chiefs. You're not better than the Chiefs. You're not better than your. I guess. Are you still a Broncos fan?
Don't do that. That's so disrespectful. Absolutely. Don't ever do that.
You just don't do that.
Because
that was kind of disrespectful because NFL clearly said one of her teams is the Denver Broncos.
Oh, I didn't hear that. I heard that she was warming up to the National.
She said she liked Commanders. She liked Dayton Daniels.
I misheard.
Thank you. You sure did.
I misheard. Sorry about that. I apologize.
Is that loss the Raptors took kind of affecting your hearing today?
It might have.
What it is?
I'm old now, so the old age be hitting me a certain way.
That's what it is.
Okay, my hearing be hurting. But I'll give you your flowers. Yeah, the Raiders are not better than your Broncos.
Absolutely
obviously
not.
They're not even close. And they're not better even than the Chargers. So you're still fourth in the division. So I don't know what do you do at the sixth pick, because they're picking sixth, if I'm not mistaken. Right?
Yes.
I think what they're doing is Pete Carroll was familiar with Geno Smith. He was there.
That's exactly why they brought him in, and that's fine.
But I still don't understand. Like, he must be a bridge quarterback, and they're still going to draft a quarterback. So maybe that's what they're trying to do.
So but I mean, are you picking at? Are you going to pick the quarterback at 6, or you take him and let's say you're going to take Jackson Dart?
No, I think this is what they're going to do. They're going to take Jalen Monroe later.
Okay.
They're going to take Jalen Monroe later, and they're going to take a running back. And they're going to take a running back early and try to create a kind of RPO situation with the Raiders, which the Browns should have been, because Deshaun Watson was a running quarterback in Houston. So I thought it was going to be the RPO. They had the pieces to be the RPO.
He said absolutely. He said, "No, I'm not running y'all scheme."
But you had all the pieces around them. You had the running back.
You did.
You had the tight end, and you had the receiver. So I thought they were going to do an RPO.
No, he just said to NFL Girl's point. I did hear that. He was like, "Yeah, I'm not running.
I'm not doing that running quarterback.
I'm not doing that." Me. So you got to and to Stefanski's credit, he tried to do the system in Houston, and it just doesn't. It doesn't. That's what remember we said. Smooth coaching matters and schematics matter. It just didn't. It was like oil and water basically, and it just doesn't mix or work in any way.
And I think they can get Milroe a couple years to get up to speed, because he's really not a quarterback at this point in time.
Right.
He's a guy that can make plays with his legs, kind of like Anthony Richardson. And
he's like a Dollar General or Timu Anthony Richardson.
So I mean, Anthony Richardson hasn't really showed us anything as of yet. So I say like Anthony Richardson. So I think they're going to go that route and have a guy behind Geno that can learn and then eventually take over. Because you got Brock Bowers, a young talent. You bring a young running back into that system, and they're thinking long term opposed to short term. And Geno is there to make them relevant, because the fan base is going to want them to win. So Geno will make them win way more games than they did last year. Even though they screwed Antonio Pierce and they fired him after 1 year.
That part.
Brady's there to help them mold the team. So I think that's the route they're going to go.
So I'm confused. Is Brady still calling team? I guess broadcasting too, and he's the owner. Isn't that like conflict of interest?
So the way that they've worked it out as of right now is that he is not allowed to go into production meetings, so that he can't hear what the teams are planning to do as far as schematic plays and things like that. So he cannot go into production meetings prior to him being on. So if it's sometimes when you listening to the broadcast, it sounds like, what the hell are you even talking about, dude? It's because of that. He's not allowed to hear ahead of time what was being said as far as what the team is planning to do. So that's how they're working it out as of right now. I don't know how long he'll be able to continue that. But
because I mean,
he said he doesn't want to. He's not walking away from that contract. And if you see how big his contract
is, it is a big contract.
Absolutely,
10 years, $100 million, right? 10 years,
it is.
And I think, he's okay. I don't mind Tom Brady. I'm probably in the minority. I actually like Greg Olsen. I've liked him as the number one guy.
You're not in the minority. Most people are like, I'd prefer to have Greg Olsen out there over.
No, me as well.
Okay,
Right.
so I'm not in the minority. I feel good about that at least. One thing I've pulling for me at least. I guess we'll talk about Travis Hunter. We were talking about him earlier. So Travis Hunter made a statement, I believe, at the Combine or in
Yes.
another interview, where he said that basically what his skill set, because for context for people who maybe are not familiar with Travis Hunter, Heisman Trophy winning receiver / cornerback from the University of Colorado, probably great player, probably going to go top 5, top 3 in the draft. And he plays both positions, which is very unheard of. I mean, there's only been a handful, if not too many players that have done it. And certainly at his level at Colorado, he did it at an exceptionally high level, even better than Charles Woodson, my guy from Michigan. Because, I mean, Charles Woodson wasn't doing it at that level. Like, he was just like, they'd sprinkle him in the offense here and there, run a reverse, or maybe catch a slant. That's it. Travis Hunter
he also won a Heisman Trophy as well when Heisman Trophy wasn't given to defensive players back then.
Exactly. So he made a statement saying that he believes that his skill set is much harder to do than what Shohei Otani, the great MLB baseball player, 3-time MVP, World Series player, is doing in MLB. So I wanted to pose this question to my lovely panelists. So NFL girl, I'll let you go first. Simply put, what are your thoughts on what Travis Hunter had to say? Do you agree or disagree?
That child is out his rabbit ass mind if he thinks that being a two-way player in football is even comparable to being a two-way player in baseball. Again, an MLB season is 162 games. It is a 9-month season?
So, at least.
Yeah, at least. And that's, we're not even getting into the playoffs and things like that.
Yeah, about 8-9 months. Yeah.
About 8-9 months. And so you're talking about a sport that 17 game season compared to a 162 game season. You're talking about playing up to 2-3 times a week, playing once a week. I understand that there's more physical contact, but you also risk injuries in baseball as well. The idea that playing, and don't get me wrong, playing corner and receiver is a very difficult job. They're saying that on average, he was playing 110 plays a game.
Which is madness.
110 plays a game.
Nuts.
Insane. That's absolutely insane.
Madness.
Okay. And I get it. I get what you're trying to say, kid, but there's no way you can compare being able to pitch and being able to hit and run and steal bases and everything that has to be done in baseball 162 times a year. Do you understand what I'm saying? Like, I'm not dismissing what he's saying, but baseball's two-way players is so much harder. It's so hard that most college coaches tell them two-way players, pick one. Yep. You're either going to pitch or you're going to hit, but you ain't doing both. But you're not doing both because your career in baseball is going to be short if you even attempt to do it.
Yeah, absolutely. Smooth, what say you? Do you agree with what Travis Hunter had to say, or as NFL Girl said, is he out of his rabbit ass mind for saying what he said?
I mean, it's really simple. Throwing the ball 100 miles per hour and be able to hit 100 miles per hour is incredible and unheard of.
And that's just a fastball.
Right. It curves and change ups and things of that nature. When have you ever seen a player do that? I mean, you never really seen a pitcher be able to hit like he's able to hit. Now, pitchers they had Glavine and all the Atlanta pitchers that could hit a little bit, but not hitting home runs, not stealing bases, not doing the things that he's doing on that kind of level. And it's an elite level. He goes to a top market in LA and performs. Not only did he perform, they won the World Series. So when you look at that, it's extraordinary what he's doing. He's a freak of nature. Let's get to Travis Hunter. He's a freak of nature as well.
Absolutely.
But were you in a playoff doing it on the biggest stage? Was the competition you doing it against the greatest competition? Absolutely not. Yeah. I don't even think you're being able to play 110 plays if you was
in the NFL
at Michigan or Ohio State, who's playing elite teams every week. There's no way you'd have been able to do that. Right. So for you to make that statement, you're basically smelling yourself because you won a Heisman. And these younger kids act like they can run through walls.
Yeah.
But let's be realistic. Even in 17 games, you still won't be able to play 110 snaps. You're not going to be able to do that. You'll be exhausted because you're playing against grown men. You're not the greatest talent on the field anymore when you get to the NFL. So you will not be able to accomplish that. You're going to try and you're going to fail miserably. So you better figure out, hey, wide receivers make more money than corners. Make a choice.
I echo both of your sentiments. I think what Travis Hunter is missing the boat on, I think some people miss the boat on, is the fact that if you look at Shohei's numbers when he's a pitcher, they're top 3. They're like Garrett Cole numbers. So if you're paying, because I watched a video about it. If people, I think it's Baseball Doesn't Exist. This guy did a video about Shohei's career and why he's one of the greatest athletes of all time. If you look at his pitching numbers from his ERA to his WAR, all those, it's Garrett Cole numbers. Garrett Cole's getting $350 million a year, a $350 million contract for the life of his contract. If you look at his hitting numbers are top 3, all of them, from average, home runs, slugging, all those things. That's Aaron Judge numbers. Aaron Judge is getting how much money? So technically, Shohei's underpaid for what he's doing. If we're doing technical on a baseball's perspective, yeah. And Travis Hunter is great. None of us are saying that Travis Hunter is not a great player. I think he's going to be fine in the NFL. But Travis Hunter has lost, to NFL Girl's point, she eloquently put it, in my opinion, he's lost his rabbit ass mind. And I love Travis Hunter, but Travis Hunter's bugging the fuck out. For him to say, again, to hit every athlete who has asked this question, what is the hardest sport or thing to do in sports? And everyone says to hit a baseball. Hitting a baseball is hands down the hardest. Even Deion Sanders, Travis Hunter's coach, said it is the hardest thing he's had to do because he couldn't master it because it's hard as shit. Because again, it's like I said, and I think even Ocho said when it was said, Travis Hunter should go to a batting cage and let them crank up the mechanical arm to 100 miles an hour and see if you can just hit that. And not just fastballs, not curveball, not circle change, not all this other stuff, not sliders and all that other stuff. It is hard. Shohei is probably one of the greatest athletes we are witnessing right now. And I think people downplay it because I think he's Japanese. He doesn't speak English. I think there's that piece because he's not maybe marketable in America. And I think people downplay and think what he does is easy when it's not. He is doing like 2 jobs that are hard to do. Pitching and hitting are hard to do in baseball. And he's doing them at a level we may not see. We all probably will not be on this earth the next time we see a player able to do what they're doing. So the point now, to NFL Girls' point, like the younger guys are being told to pick one. Now there's some people that are trying to do both regardless. And I appreciate Shohei because, again, when he came into the league, I mean, he struggled for the first few years. He was getting hurt all the time. And everybody was saying, you can't do both. There's no way he can do both at an elite level. He's going to get hurt. His body can't take it. He can't do it. He can't do it. He can't do it. Similar to your boy, Jalen Hurts, they were doubting him crazily. And he's proven that he's been able to do both. And I think this year, now that I think to your point, he's not going to be stealing bases. I don't think that's going to be a thing. He's not going to do that as much. Doesn't need to. He's already proven that he could steal bases. I think that's proven. But I think him being a pitching and hitting at the elite level that he's going to be doing is going to be really good. So yeah, Travis Hunter, we love you. We wish you nothing but the best in the league. But yeah, you're bugging the fuck out for saying that you're not doing it. And to your point, Smooth, and I agree, you're not playing 110 snaps in the NFL. There's no way he's not going to last playing 110 snaps in the NFL.
And again, because like Smooth said, it's the difference of you've been playing against other 18 to 22-year-olds this whole time.
That may not be as good.
Exactly. You're going to be going into the league and playing with grown ass men, people that have been in the league anywhere between 3 to 10 years.
That part.
What's going to happen the first time you have to go up against someone like Myles Garrett in a game?
What happens when you, let's say, got to cover, let's say, DK Metcalf, and you got to be able to hold up against him and tackle his big ass?
Exactly.
Who looks like the Terminator, basically. And you got to hit him consistently. And now you're going to be on offense trying to run routes against, let's say, your boy, Pats or PS2. And good luck.
Exactly. And so that's what I'm saying. PS2. Yeah. That's what I'm trying to say. Like, coming out of college, yeah, you could say, like, man, what I did these last, few seasons is much harder. Bruh, you played against college players. Don't do that. Don't do that. This man has been playing in the pros. He played in Japan before he came over. And was a monster in Japan before he came to the US and started killing it out here.
He just came to the MLB. I watched the thing. He only came to the MLB because the MLB is like the league, right? Like he could have stayed in Japan and got the bag.
Absolutely.
And stayed in Japan and just been the guy. But he had already won so much there. He's like, okay, I need a new challenge.
Competition.
competition, because that's basically why he came. Because it wasn't because of money. Because if it was money, he actually told the Japan team, "Don't draft me because I don't want to stay here because eventually I want to go to MLB." And they said, "Okay, sure, we will let you go to the MLB whenever." That's the only reason why he stayed in Japan as long as he did. Because if not for that, his ass would have been in MLB earlier. He just stayed just because, and they're like, "Sure." And he's like a superstar. Listen, Shohei's probably like a superstar in Japan. He probably can't even go nowhere in Japan. You know what I mean? So,
do you understand? Listen, do you know that they will be in conference meetings? This is true story. They can be in actual meetings, and they stop whenever he comes up to bat. In actual meetings in Japan, I can envision when he comes up to bat.
I can envision that. I can see that.
That's the type of power that he has over there in that country. That's phenomenal.
He is. Yeah, he is the shit.
Exactly.
And his wife played basketball. I didn't even know that too. I just saw that. His wife was a baller too. She was kidding, bro. I saw her highlights. I was like, damn, Shohei, look at y'all gonna make some athletic children and all that. Y'all out here killing it. So Shohei is and even listen, I will say this. I'm a baseball guy, but my favorite baseball moment was when Shohei pitched against Mike Trout in the was it the World Baseball Classic, and he struck his ass out. That shit was riveting. Yeah, that shit. I don't care if you're a sports fan, you watch that. I was on the edge of my seat watching that. That was some beautiful ass baseball, and he struck his ass out. I was like, damn, this dude is legit.
He is that guy. He is that guy.
Yeah. And it's something we never saw before. So, it's always going to be more exciting because we never saw it before.
Absolutely.
Now, somebody come behind him and do it. We saw it before, so it'll be less entertaining because we saw it before.
I mean, Babe Ruth apparently did it.
Yeah, and I will say this about Travis Hunter.
Yeah.
The cornerback position is the second hardest position on the field, and he's elite.
Absolutely.
So I'll give him that.
Yeah.
But on the flip side, like NFL Girl said, what does he run that slant and that linebacker put that helmet in the ribs? And he's out for 6 weeks. So we forgot about that aspect of it because being a receiver, you want to get hit. He's not used to getting hit. When you're the best athlete, you rarely get hit. You get out of bounds or whatever. You want that slant because whatever situation you're in, you're going to be one of the go-to guys on both sides. So you want to have that grip. Mm-hmm. So that 110 snaps is not going to happen.
No, he's got to get that slant. Yeah, that's true.
The mix and breeds that you get as a NFL player, where some weeks you don't want to go, there's no way. It's no way.
Yeah, I mean that slant comes in. Bobby Wagner's coming.
Woo!
Yeah. Bobby Wagner's a big boy. I'd be scared to run a slant, and Bobby Wagner's coming down, and he's ready to tear my head off. I am not trying to do that. That's why I'm not running no slant. I'll say, yo, let me run a go. Just run go routes or run button hooks.
Any of those linebackers, man. Any of those linebackers.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah,
he's not like he's 220. What is he like 185?
He's a slim little dude. That's what I'm trying to say. Yeah. And he's fast. He's super fast. He's a fast kid, but bro, you're gonna get killed out there.
And he's hyper athletic. He's hyper athletic.
Yeah, for sure.
I saw him when he was at Colorado and they wanted to play with the basketball team. He throwing the ball off the ground, dunking it easily.
Yeah, very athletic.
So he's a heck of an athlete.
Absolutely.
But on basketball, you won't get touched as much. In football, you're gonna get hit.
Oh, he's gonna get hit.
So that's how things happen.
All right. So I did bring this up in the chat with Smooth about the LeBron situation with Stephen A. Smith. I don't know if we want to touch on that. So for context, people, I'll get NFL Girl's thoughts on it. So Stephen A. Smith had made some comments about the LeBron James' son. I'm not sure what the comments were directly, but LeBron James was not thrilled about what Stephen A. had to say and basically told him as much. And during the game, where he said, basically, keep my son's name out your mouth. So I've heard a lot of I've heard a lot of opinions about this. I want to get y'all's take on it because there are people on two sides of the argument. On LeBron's side, they're saying, well, LeBron was justified. Stephen A. spoke on his son, blah, blah, blah. And then on the other side, there's, Stephen A. is a reporter. He's a TV personality. His responsibility is to speak on issues, da-da-da-da. And, LeBron needs to stop being so sensitive about his son. So NFL Girl, what say you? Do you feel like LeBron was fair or foul for approaching Stephen A. Smith? What are your thoughts on that?
He was absolutely fair. Again, at the end of the day, what's stopping you from protecting your child? If the situation was reversed and somebody was talking shit about Stephen A. Smith's kid or whatever, I don't know if he has any, but
he has two daughters apparently, yeah.
Okay. if somebody was talking shit about one of his daughters, wouldn't he be, willing to defend his kids? Of course you are. And so if you're going to talk shit about my kid, I understand you may not think that my kid is a great basketball player right now. And that isn't, that's not debatable. He isn't a great basketball player right now. That is actually facts or whatever. But I don't feel like it's carte blanche for you to sit there and just completely trash the kid or whatever. Again, he's young. He's going to learn. He's going to improve. That is a fact or whatever. Keep my kid's name out your mouth. Otherwise, I will for real go Will Smith on your ass. Don't play with me or whatever. And I'm quite sure that's exactly, he said it in a much nicer way, but he absolutely, so I will go Will Smith up in here. Okay. Next time you say some shit about my son, I will absolutely.
Yeah, that's the tone. I saw the tone.
Me and you getting kicked out of crypto. I promise you. So no, you're not wrong for protecting your child. Yeah. And I get, okay, well, he's a sportscaster and he's talking about him as a basketball player. No, I get wanting to protect your child though, or whatever, especially when he's only in his first year and he's still developing his game.
Yeah.
Give him time. If in 3-4 years he's still garbage, then I'll let you go say, hey, I think he needs to improve. This is the area of his game I think he needs to improve upon and things like that. Is there a little bit of nepotism there for bringing Bronny in? Of course there is.
Yeah.
Of course there is. But let that kid develop. Let's see where his game goes in the next several years or whatever. I'm okay with that move.
Yeah. What say you, Smooth? Yeah, go ahead. No, Smooth, this is your team. This is this is kind of your boy, not your boy fully. I know you. Go on.
I'm not a LeBron fan, but
I know you are.
I'm gonna keep it 100. Stephen A. forgets about the human element about things when he's speaking. Sometimes he forget that he's a father and he's a human because he's on this high level platform and they just gave him $100 million contract. He thinks he's above everything. So he loses sight of the reality of the world that you can't just talk about people and not think you're going to get backlash.
Mm-hmm.
You keep talking. You had issues with Kwame Brown. You had Kwame Brown. All these people are coming at you because you're disrespectful when you say things. It's one time that you can talk about people, but be respectful. You can say, hey, I don't think LeBron James' son should have been drafted that high. He averaged 2.1 points a game. That's all facts. LeBron can't get mad at that because you're telling him the truth.
Mm-hmm.
But when you continue to say things about people, when you're not being responsible as a sports announcer, as a father, because you wouldn't want anybody coming on TV talking about your daughters.
That part.
That's when you cross the line. So LeBron absolutely was right for stepping to Stephen A. Smith. And Stephen A. Smith, I'm surprised a lot of other athletes don't step to Stephen A. Smith because he just gets on TV and says anything he wants to say.
Wild stuff. Yeah, I agree. No, I don't disagree with any of you. I look at it even from a different lens. Like Stephen A., to your point, Smooth, that you just brought up, I wish athletes did check Stephen A. more and came at him directly because Stephen A. will fold like the cheap ass suits that he wears on First Take because he talks an abundant amount of nonsense that he can't. And my thing with Stephen A. is this is my problem with Stephen A. Stephen A. talks all this shit, talks all this stuff about athletes, this, that, and the third. This guy's garbage, Kwame Brown, and all this stuff. And then when someone checks him, he folds. So all that energy that you project, you can't sustain. In my opinion, to NFL Girls' point, keep my son's name out your damn mouth. Because as much as everyone says, oh, LeBron should whatever, that's my child. So fuck all that other shit. You're not going to speak on my child that way because I'm going to, now if I see you, now you're going to have to come in because this is my son you're talking about. I get he's in the league. And to Bronny's credit, Bronny's taking it all in stride because even that he was at USC, fans were cheering that he's overrated, he's trash, this, that, and the third, and he still hooped. He wasn't the greatest, no. He's still to NFL Girls' point. He's still got a lot of developing to do, and we'll see his progression in the next 3 or 4 years. I know everyone's proclaiming that he's a bust and he sucks and he can't play and this, that, and the third. Let these kids develop and see where they're at. I don't understand this social media need to proclaim whether a player is the GOAT or he's trash within a few months. Like, I'll give you even context, Smooth. A few years ago, I was on Halftime, the app that we were on, and someone had literally said to me in 2022 that Saquon Barkley is a bust. And I said to him, he's been hurt. How is he a bust? And he's like, oh, that's why he's a bust, because he's been hurt. I'm like, that doesn't even make sense. He's been hurt. That doesn't make him a bust. That just means he's been hurt and hasn't had an opportunity to showcase his talent. So is he a bust now? I'm confused.
But see, on halftime,
yeah.
Sometimes you were dealing with kids and fans. Fans just look at stats, look at things. They don't watch the game, so they're gonna speak on what
stupidness. Foolishness.
Like, they don't actually see that Saquon was an elite talent at Penn State, elite for the Giants, and because the organization didn't have his best interests, they couldn't block. He had 3 people on him as soon as he handed the ball off. So you don't want to get hurt when you're all world and they rely on you so much. So that's the reality. But go ahead, NFL girl.
Now, what were we saying?
My whole point is when you come to judging a player when they first enter the league, let's say within their first, 2 years, maybe even 3, depending, that you're still in your development stages. Let's think back to where was Michael Jordan when he first entered the league? In his first couple years. Let's move forward. Where was Kobe when he first entered the league? Sweetheart, I remember them saying Kobe was a bust in his first 2 years. He was absolute garbage. They made a mistake of drafting this kid straight out of high school. This was never going to work out for them. And they would show, signs of, Kobe doing terrible in games. How'd that end? How'd that work out?
NFL girl, I'll even concede your point. I remember a period of time when Vince Carter and Kobe were playing really good. And there was a debate. Who is better, Vince Carter or Kobe Bryant? But everyone has this revisionist history now. And they just gloss over and forget that. Because I remember the lovely ESPN network would have these debates when I was living in the States at the time. And they were like, oh, is Vince Carter better than Kobe Bryant? Which one is better? And then obviously Kobe showed himself, right? And I think even Bryce Young, I remember literally people saying his first year that Bryce Young could not play and he was a bust. And Carolina made a mistake and they shouldn't have drafted him. He's too small. He can't throw this, that, and the third. And then oddly enough, last year, he struggled earlier in the year. They sat him down for a bit. He got back in and he played decently. Let these kids develop. It is okay. I understand fan bases don't have the patience anymore. They want to see, and we live in this weird, either they're the GOAT or a bust debate. And that's literally the realm of sports media that we're in now, where there's no middle ground. There's no, it may take a kid a while to develop. There's none of that now. It's like, we have to proclaim whether he's the GOAT or he's like going to be the best player or a building block, or he's trash and get rid of him. You can't play. You're wasting your time. And I don't understand that. I've never understood that. As a matter of fact, I hate it.
And then that feeds into why Stephen A. Smith feels as comfortable as he does, because he's the troll that feeds those monsters.
That part.
That, you know what I'm saying? Like, he look at how he's playing. You can see already why he wasn't good at USC. You can see already he's not going to be good for the Lakers. You can't see a damn thing in 2 years. This is that child's first year. Again, if you want to tell me how you think my child could improve over the next few years, the way he could develop his game and how I could guide him in that, fine. I have no problem if you're speaking in that manner. But when you are disparaging my child, I'm a Will Smith. I'm just going straight up. It's not going to be up for the next time I see you. It's not going to be up for discussion. We're not going to talk about it.
Yeah, I mean, and I agree with you, NFL girl. I think the problem is that a lot of other players that had great season wasn't drafted. He was drafted, so that is one of the catalysts for him being talked about so much.
Right.
If it was a situation where he went undrafted and the Lakers picked him up, there probably wouldn't be any kind of conversations. But you had people that were successful in the actual March Madness tournament, had great games, and was talked about a lot. He wasn't even in the March Madness.
No.
And it was talks that the Lakers were telling other teams don't draft him.
There was talks of that, yeah.
So when you have all that controversy around you, that's why all the eyes are going to be on you. But absolutely, Stephen A. should keep his mouth shut about people. And like you said, Big Mike, I'm surprised other athletes don't approach him because he'd be out of pocket.
Yeah.
And then I'm going to do you another one better with the Kobe situation. At one point in time, they were discussing whether to trade Eddie George or Kobe. Do y'all guys remember that?
Eddie Jones,
I sure did.
I remember that.
People are saying Eddie George is better. I said, are you nuts? This guy is going to be an elite talent. Sure, he's not. He's 18 years old. Y'all don't realize that, right? 19 years old. Eddie George been in the league for years. Eddie George was okay at Temple. You know what I'm saying? He was okay at Temple.
He's
not
okay.
a stud. He's not a stud. So when you have, like I say, it's a lot of people out here that don't understand sports and they just make outlandish comments, right? Because they don't understand the game. When you know an elite talent opposed to Eddie George and Kobe are not even on the same platform. Nowhere near. So why would you even consider or try to say, hey, you should trade Kobe? If you'd have traded Kobe, LA wouldn't have won them championships. It'd be right.
Yep.
That part. Because you couldn't rely on big ass Shaq to do that long term. Because Shaq was he was killing it with the McDonald's and all that. He wasn't dialed in like that. Like Kobe.
He's not a go-to player.
Nah,
you can't go to him under 3 seconds.
No.
He's not going to make the free throws, and he's not going to hit a jump shot. So he's a guy to get you to the finish line, but he can't cross it.
Right.
Can't cross it.
Yeah, and I agree. Even like I look back, even like NHL players, like even Connor Bedard, the player from Chicago, like they were ripping him earlier in the year and saying that he wasn't. Is he a bust? Like I see it in the comments, people are saying how he's a bust. And the new first overall pick, Macklin Scalabrini from San Jose, he's way better, not even close. And I'm like, you guys are. Connor Bedard is 19 years old. He's 19. Last year he had a decent season. This year he's struggling because he's a 19-year-old kid still learning the NHL game. He's 5'11". He's a little bit short, but he can shoot his ass off. I love Connor Bedard's game. He's a great player. But we're making proclamations about and to your point, I think Stephen A and all these weird trolly ass sports people, to your point, Smooth, just make all this outlandish nonsense and then people run with it like it's fact. And it's not. Like, I don't understand. Like, I'll give you one better. Even Patrick Mahomes. I remember when he got drafted, everybody now is kissing Patrick Mahomes' ass and calling him the GOAT at the time. But I remember the day he got drafted and everyone said that the Chiefs lost their mind for trading up that high to go get Patrick Mahomes. And what are they doing? Because you have Alex Smith and you have a window to win. Why would you draft a quarterback from a Big 12 conference who's a spread quarterback, who runs a spread offense and da-da-da-da? But now everybody wants to act like, oh, I saw it.
And if you really want to go up that high and get a quarterback, you should have got Deshaun Watson. Look what Deshaun Watson did at Clemson.
Exactly. Thank you.
Where's Deshaun Watson now?
Deshaun Watson's Achilles is cottage cheese right now, and he probably ain't gonna play. I don't know when he's
what he was. He'll never be what he was when he first came in the league. Listen, you understand? Again, you cannot see how someone is going to be over that short period of time. Social media, I think, has kind of spoiled us in that we're getting instant access to these players and being able to see them so quickly. And so now we have this expectation that if I'm going to see you all the time, if I can see highlights of your game all the time, I need you to be playing at the most top elite level in your first season. That's not realistic. Yeah. And even if, and I'm not saying that there aren't players in their first season that don't do well.
Absolutely.
There are plenty of players that in their first season do well and then struggle in their second season because now I got tape on you. Now I know what your game is going to look like. Is Jaden Daniels going to struggle next year for the Commanders?
Probably.
Absolutely.
And guess what? Nick, they're going to say, "Oh, is Jaden Daniels falling off? What happened to Jaden Daniels? Is he at the sophomore slump? Did the Commanders
make a mistake?
Did the Commanders mess up? Is Drake May? Look at Drake May. Drake May is playing wonderful. Did the Commanders mess up? How about Caleb Williams? Caleb Williams is looking decent. Did the Bears mess up? Can we relax?
Relax. Holy hell, relax.
They talked about C.J. Stroud this year.
Yeah, C.J. Stroud. Oh my God, C.J. Stroud is not looking so good. Did the Texans make a mistake? Was it too much too soon? Like, can we please
relax?
For the love of God. Like, even with my I'm gonna go into my Raptors. Unfortunately, I apologize in advance. The Raptors fan base is borderline psychotic because they're in this mindset that we're supposed to win next year. It's like this weird thing where they don't want us to win this year because we still have a top whatever pick, but they want us to be competitive. Or some of them are like, well, we need to win next year. Next year has to be the year we win. Bro, we're not going to listen. We're in a rebuild in the next 3 to 4 years, hopefully. I'm prepared mentally.
10 to 12, but okay, yeah.
Don't do that, Infra Girl. Don't do that. Your team is in a perpetual rebuild.
Hey, we're not talking about the Wizards though, because
why not? Why can't we talk about the Wizards? I know you were about to drop a nugget about your Capitals because they're winning. But
wait a minute.
You're lucky with that. Go on.
But did the Wizards beat the Raptors last night?
I'm sure if we go down
okay.
the list this year of the schedule,
I'm just
I
saying.
am sure I could find a game where we played y'all and we won. Now, yesterday was not our game. Obviously, was not our game. It's okay. Listen, we're a young team. Scotty Barnes is still figuring it out. We got to figure out our. That's another thing. But again, that team is young.
Okay.
It's a young team. They're developing. They're figuring it out. And I'm willing to be patient because I understand that it's a process. These are 18-year-old kids who play 1 year of college, and now you're asking them to be at the NBA and just kick ass right away. That's not how it works.
That's where we got to go, tying it back into Bronny. That's what you guys got to look at. This kid is, 18, 19 years old?
Yes.
Had a heart condition.
I forgot to mention that, yes.
Had a fucking heart condition. Only played, 5-6 games for USC total?
Yes.
They see the long term. They see that he's going to be a project, a long-term project. That's why JJ Redick was willing to take a chance on him. Like, he's not going to be the man his first season out. His daddy wasn't the man his first season out. You understand?
It took a minute.
It took a couple of seasons before he really became the player that he is today. So that you got to be willing to get off that nonsense that these players have to be the man coming right out of college. That's not real, especially when it comes to basketball. Football, they're like football, you got to play at least 3 years. So you're coming out, you're at least 20, 21, 22 years old or whatever. You're a little
Your
bit
body
older.
is, yeah.
These kids are 18, 19 years old coming out and playing on a professional level against dudes that are in their 20s and 30s.
Yes.
How dare you sit there and say some shit about my kid when my kid is 19 and had a heart condition last year?
That part. He almost died on the court.
And he's a kid.
And he's a kid.
And he's a kid.
Like, to NFL Girl's point, I agree with you. Give him 3 or 4 years. If he doesn't develop or he's still at the same part, if you want to rip him, go nuts. I say 3 years. Give these kids 3 to 4 years. If they don't develop or you don't see a progression, if you want to, fine. Even with Scotty Barnes for the Raptors, the first year, rookie of the year, second year struggle. The Raptors fan base acted like the world was on fire because Scotty Barnes didn't progress and he's a bust and what are we doing? He's still developing his game. Scotty Barnes was somebody who was you see the potential, but it was going to take him time. Newsflash, Raptors fans, it's still going to take him some time. He's still 3 or 4 years away from maybe reaching his full potential. So if you're expecting him to be this all-world NBA, all-NBA GOAT player, you have lost every part of your mind. And I'm speaking to Raptors fans when I say this, because if you believe that, you've lost your fucking mind. I'm sorry to say that. He is a great player. He's a great talent. He's a pillar for our team, but it's going to take him time for him to reach his full potential. So stop with this narrative about we need to be in the playoffs next year. Shut up. Stop it. You've lost your mind. It's just the same with Michigan fans saying that, because we got Bryce Underwood, an 18-year-old, we're supposed to be in the college football playoff. Stop it. We were 8-5 last year. We beat Ohio State. We beat Alabama, which were great wins, but we were not that good enough to get to the college football playoff last year. And my expectation is hopefully we can get to the Big Ten championship. That's my expectation. We'll go from there. But this narrative that we're supposed to win the national championship, shut up, you weirdo fans. Stop it. Because you've lost your damn mind and you need to go find it somewhere. That's my rant. My apologies.
You're good, but
go ahead. I know, girl. Go ahead.
No, just like I said, it just keeps coming back to you're talking about 18, 19-year-old kids. Give them time. Is Kyle Kuzma and Jordan Poole a bust? Absolutely. They are fucking garbage, and I hate watching them on TV.
What about Alex Starr? What about your boy Alex Starr? Your pillar Alex Starr.
Again, we're going back to Alex Starr. Only been in the league how long?
1 year.
This is his 1 year. Exactly. So that's what I'm trying to say. I'm giving Alex Starr time because he is a rookie.
He's 7 foot. He's got potential.
Right. I'm giving people when they first come into the league time. Let me see where your game is 3, 4, 5 years from now.
So
when you've been around the team. I'm not judging Starr from what he's doing right now. Am I judging Jordan Poole?
So you're not sold on the great Jordan Poole? You're not sold on the great Jordan Poole?
I will come through this Zoom right now and slap you. I promise you. Jordan Poole and Kyle Kuzma are Abbott and Costello. It is just a fucking clown show watching them play together. But but understand where I'm judging them from is how long they've been in the league.
I agree.
You understand?
Bingo.
You cannot judge somebody on their first couple of seasons in the league, because if you do that, then you're going to see everybody as a bust. You would have seen Kobe as a bust. You would have seen Michael Jordan as a bust. You would have seen LeBron as a bust. It's so many players who in their first few seasons did struggle. And then they got it. Whether it was they got a coaching change, whether it was they got a team change, whether they just spent an off-season training with someone who helped develop their game, put some weight on them, or whatever the case is, you saw their game start to improve over time. Are there freak of natures like, Nikola Jokic? Yes, there are some freaks of natures who can just play out of their mind, but that's not every player coming into the league.
Even to your point, how about Giannis Antetokounmpo? How did he do his first year?
Exactly.
How was he? Was he good? What about you, Smooth? Was Giannis Antetokounmpo the MVP all-worldly player that he is now his first couple of years? Or was he a skinny beanpole that people thought, what are we going to do with him?
Yeah, see, I really believe that the problem is with the NCAA, right? If the girls have to stay for 3 years until they're 21, how is it that the boys can come out at 18? Mm-hmm. My thing is this should be a rule. You have to stay in school for at least 2 years on the boys' side. I'm not even going to say 3, 2 years. And then the NCAA game will be better because the NCAA game right now is unrecognizable. You have no idea who these kids are. You don't understand these programs. And it's hard for me to watch it because they're there for a quick second.
Yeah.
Well, on the other side, you have women thriving because you know who they are. They're with their team for years. Yeah. You know who Juju Watkins is.
Facts.
You know who actually Hidalgo is. You know who Olivia Myles is.
Yeah, Kate
Booker. Madison Booker.
Booker, yeah.
You know.
Yeah.
Malaysia for Wiley. You know who these guys, you know who these women are because they have to stay. Yes. And you get to know them and they're a program, a team. Unlike when you go over to the men's side, it's individuals. It's not team. It's no King Tom set because they're just getting players in and trying to figure out how they can mesh together.
Yeah, like Cooper Flag, like Cooper Flag is the guy right now, and he's probably going to be he's going to be the first overall pick. I mean, he's pretty much picked as that. But to your point, I mean, he's good, but I mean, Duke. I mean, what's Duke going to do? Is Duke going to win I mean, I don't know if they're picked to win the Final Four. I mean, if they have a bad game, they'll probably lose, which is a possibility.
The NCAA needs to change, though. That's the problem. The NCAA is greedy and they want money. If they change their rule, which they did before, and they changed it back, if they change the rule and say you have to be in school for 2 years, some of these players will go overseas. I know that for a fact, right? And do that 1 year and then come into the NBA because they don't have their regulations. But if they really change that, they will improve the NBA as well as the NCAA. It's an easy decision. You'll improve both cases because you're having too many kids coming to the league at 18 and they're getting harassed by social media because they can't play, and that messes up your organization.
Right.
It messes up your organization completely.
And you're putting them out there to the wolves. You understand? You're having them go and be in the NCAA for 1 year, then go and be in the pros and not doing well when they first reach the league. Because again, you're going from playing with other 18, 19, 20-year-olds to playing with grown men. And there's a significant leap going from college to the pro game. You understand? Like it's night and day difference. So you are going to struggle in your first couple of years. So yeah, like you said, keep them in college a couple of years. If you want to go and play overseas for a year or 2 years or whatever, develop your game a little better, playing against these international players who've been playing pro since they was 12 or whatever, then yeah, absolutely. I'm have mad respect for you doing it that way than putting these little kids out there. And then people like Stephen A. Smith got something to say out the side of their neck. Boy, if you don't shut your little ass up.
All facts.
I mean, the fact that they gave Stephen A. Smith $100 million it just shows that we're starved for content. Like we're starved for content. That's the reason why he didn't get it because he's really good at his job. I think he peaked at 2013. 2013 was like peak Stephen A. Smith. You want to give him $100 million, then sure, he was relevant then. Stephen A. is not even relevant now. He's not even the most I think most people watch First Take probably because of Shannon Sharpe or anybody else that he has on there. Because more times than not, Stephen A. said that the reason why people don't watch hockey is because they can't follow the puck.
Okay.
That's a thing that Stephen A. said on live TV in front of people. I'm like, really, Stephen A.? Because you think people are just blind and they can't follow the puck. Lord forbid. You can't follow the puck because you're older than Dirt. Dirt's got more age on you. Like, what are you talking about, Stephen A? Like, you sound stupid.
if you're making that argument, you can say the same thing about baseball.
Yeah, I can't see the baseball when they're throwing it 100 miles an hour. Oh my God, I can't watch this game now. Let me turn it off and go watch something else, because heaven forbid my eyes cannot possibly handle the fact that the ball is just spinning like that. Like, come on, Stephen A., you sound dumb.
The debate show had its time. You know, there was the peak time for debate show was the Jekyll and Hyde era of him and Skip Bayless playing together. You understand? And it was phenomenal when it absolutely did. And it was phenomenal back when it was the two of them. That style did work at that time. But now, please stop. It doesn't. We've moved past that debate style. I don't think it works anymore.
No, it doesn't. It's just like I can't even watch First Take anymore. I think the only time I watched was during, I think, when the Four Nations, the hockey thing was going on. And I think when PK was on there, I didn't mind watching it a little bit then. But even then,
you were watching for PK Subban. You weren't watching.
I didn't care less about Stephen A. Smith's opinion, because Stephen A. was saying foolishness that made no sense. And he doesn't know shit about hockey. So it's like, why am I going to listen to you say words? Like, you're not even trying to even be knowledgeable about it. At least Shannon Sharp tries to somewhat be knowledgeable about it. Stephen A's like, I don't be knowing hockey. I'll be knowing hockey. So then why are you talking about it?
Buck move fast.
Okay. Moving too fast for me. I'm just saying, a brother can't be watching hockey like that. Yeah, really, motherfucker. Because black people don't play in hockey either. Stupid face. Shut up, Stephen A.
But yeah.
I'm sorry, like, fucking irritates me. Like, and they just like, now we're just in a point where like we're just gonna give Stephen A. $100 million, and now he wants to run for president in y'all country apparently. So good for y'all. Hope y'all that's a thing that he said he wants to do. And
listen, you about to move them shoes out the way, because I'm about to put a
You are not. Listen, America can't. Toronto is full. We're full. We have our own problems here. We can't be we're not the 51st state. We're not going to do that here. And we don't want to be the 51st state. There's maybe 10% of Canadians that want that. 90% of Canadians, we're in agreement that we're good. We're good.
No, he said no, thank you. We're good.
We're good. We are good. We are good. We don't even have y'all alcohol in our liquor stores anymore. We have taken them out. We don't even have Jack Daniels CEO losing his mind because they don't have them in our, so we're all Canadian now, which doesn't say much because we don't even have much here. So I don't know. We're just amalgamation of all the other races. So whatever. Go on, Smooth.
Y'all have a lot of advantages, right? Free college. You don't have to file taxes. Food is better. Not a lot of bad ingredients.
Universal health care.
It's the healthcare piece. We don't have the better food. I don't know about the better.
You don't have all the ingredients they put in our foods.
No, we do not. Y'all, I don't know what y'all be putting.
Just because you don't have that is better. The FDA is getting bribed, so they don't regulate anything. So I wouldn't say that you guys don't have anything. You guys have a lot.
Listen, we're good. We're good. We're good. And then on top of that, American fans who get mad at me for saying this, I mean, your Captain America's from Vancouver, British Columbia, Canada. So whatever. I don't care what you guys say. You guys can't tell us anything.
You really had to throw that in.
I listen. Right now, my Toronto teams, sports teams are not doing it. Like the Leafs. We'll see how the Leafs do in the playoffs. We'll just see. As long as we win, listen, if we don't get the wild card and we don't have to play Florida, or we can avoid Florida or Tampa Bay, I like our chances. And if we have to play y'all team, the Capitals, we're going to win. I said it on this podcast. I stand by it. Smooth. We can go back to this. What day is it today? It's March 9th. I am proclaiming it now. If the Capitals and Maple Leafs play in the playoffs, we're going to win in 7.
You picking Austin Matthews over Alex Ovechkin.
Damn.
That's what we're doing.
Right. You're American player.
Rabbit ass.
You're an American player who is in Canada playing for our team. And we're going to win.
Mine.
I'm hot taking it. You guys know we don't do hot takes, but that's a semi-hot take.
I will be back on the next episode when that happens to just laugh and laugh and laugh.
You're not winning. You're not. Okay. Y'all are winning. We are going to win. I'm saying it now. Listen, it's now or never for the Leafs. I'm saying this as a Leaf fan.
Yeah, because when's the last time y'all
1967. You know how bad it is, for context, Smooth, how bad it is for the Leafs. We still have the name, like the Stanley Cup has the names of all the teams that have won it, right? Like on the round of ring. We have not won it in so long that we're at a point where our name is going to get replaced. Like our little tile is going to get replaced because it's been a minute. It's not even been a minute. It's been a lot of minutes.
What wasn't that before you were born even?
That was way before I was born. It was before cell phones existed. There was a lot of things. I don't even want to go down the list of things that existed in 1967, the last time the Maple Leafs, I think, even made the Stanley Cup.
They didn't even have civil rights when you.
They did not. Canada, we didn't have civil rights. It was rough. We were still like horse and buggy. You know, polio might have still been a thing. We probably didn't have the polio vaccine. We were out there just getting drool and stuff. Like it was a mess. So 67.
Man, what you gotta hold on to is that Toronto Raptors championship. You got one, you can't win them all. So hold on to that. Hold on to that.
You got his Raptors shirt on right now.
I did. Yeah. That's it. That's all I got. Because prior to that, the only thing I had was the Blue Jays winning the World Series in 92 and 93. So that was, again, it's been dry. It's been rough sledding for Toronto fans. Okay.
But some people don't have no success. So
this is true.
Some people have
When's the last time the Washington Wizards won an NBA Finals?
78.
It's been a minute. Wow.
1978. Oh yeah, they're hot garbage.
Disco was popping in the 70s when y'all were in bell bottoms, all that. Kendrick Lamar brought it back. But yeah, there you go. So it's been a minute. I mean, I know your Capitals won in 2017, so there's that.
18, get it right.
Oh, sorry.
Nationals won it. Nationals won in 2019. Get it right.
Now, I thought you were a Dodgers fan.
I root for the Dodgers because I'm out here, but if I go to a game and they're playing the Nationals, I'm absolutely wearing my Nationals.
So everyone out there, NFL girl, I'm going to say, is cheating on her team. She's not a real Nationals fan.
Don't do that.
You're cheating.
I've go to a Dodgers game in Nationals gear. I've absolutely done it at least 5 times.
Have you done it recently?
I didn't go this year.
You didn't go this year?
If you want to see the way the ticket prices went up.
Oh yeah, the tickets were gone.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I know. Well, the Blue Jays, I mean,
Shohei Otani, they made some good, little bit of big moves that made them ticket prices jump astronomically.
I'm scared to even ask you how much they are. Get out of it. $400? No. In LA?
If you want a decent one.
That is.
If you want a decent one. Wow. Now, if you want bloody nose, you might get in for $100.
Well, listen, you can come to Toronto. You can come to see a shitty Blue Jay game, maybe for like $100, maybe. You can, get some good tickets. I mean, the Jays, we'll see what listen, I'm trying not to even talk about the Jays. I'm going to raise my blood pressure right now. So I'm going to go down that road. I already went down that road with Smooth the first, 2 weeks ago. And I'm trying to avoid.
You gotta hold on to your wins, man. You can't worry about.
Bro, I can't hold on to the Raptors bro. That was pre-COVID. Okay, that was like ancient history ago. I can't hold on to that forever.
First of all, Smooth is enjoying it because he literally just had a win.
That part.
It feels a whole lot different when you like, you got to hold on to the wins. I mean, mine was just last month, but you got to hold on.
He could talk he was at the parade, living it up at the feet.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, so he could talk all that. He is on cloud 9. But for teams like myself, where my teams are just, it's been a rough go. It's hard. I don't want to hold on to 2019 Raptors because you know what's going to happen? They're going to be showing old school, the Raptors highlights with Kawhi going like in 20 years if we don't win a finals. Remember in 2019 when Kawhi was here and he took us to the finals? I don't want to hold on to that for 20 years, dude. I want to win at some point.
Keep Big Mike.
Keep hope alive.
Scotty Barnes is your man. It's going to happen.
Scotty Barnes. And who else did y'all trade for somebody, Big
Mike? We got Brandon Ingram. He hasn't
I
played.
I knew who it was. I didn't want to see the name. I wanted you to say it, so that's why I didn't say it. But
don't do that, Smooth.
But
now you're trying to be disrespectful now.
No. My Eagles didn't win. My Eagles didn't win until 2017, right? Mm-hmm. 2017, 2018. So all that time before, right? They had some success, but they didn't win. That's why I'm telling you, hold on to what you can, because everybody can't be successful. All these teams go through ebbs and flows. Yeah. The Washington Wizards, when they had John Wall and they had that going on, they had a hot streak, and now they fell off a little bit. So everybody
fell off a little bit.
More than a little bit.
A little bit. Damn, you're being kind, boy. They.
What I'm saying is, everybody goes through ebbs and flows. Everybody's not going to be great every year. So you just got to hold on what you can hold on to, and have the fact that you guys have the number 1 pick and y'all can do a lot of damage. Because that division is not that tough.
Listen.
So Washington was terrible the year before, terrible ownership. get Daniels, and they went to the NFC Championship.
Listen,
in 1 year.
It's been hard for me as a Titans fan because we were the number 1 seed when we first joined halftime. We were the number 1 seed in 2021. We were the number 1 seed. I could talk all the shit I wanted to talk at that time because my team was winning. Derrick Henry, AJ Brown. We were, Jeffrey Simmons was hitting the stride. Tannehill was slightly decent. He wasn't causing us to lose. It was a decent time. And now, 3 years later, we're picking first in the draft. It is very demoralizing, I think, from that perspective, to go from being the number 1 seed and losing to the Bengals and getting 9 sacks in a game. I'm not going to let that go. And losing to the Bengals to now we're picking potentially first in the NFL draft. Like it's that drop in 3 years has been like demoralizing. And it really was like, getting rid of AJ Brown just seismically just ruined our franchise, essentially, to me. It set us back so much. And I think ownership was just stupid in making a trade and not getting added value. Then Treylon Burks now, I mean, at this point, he's a bust. He's been in the league for 4 years. He's barely played. He can't stay hurt. I think the last touchdown he had when he played the Eagles and y'all basically concussed his ass because when he caught the ball and he basically went down the middle and they tore his head off. I watched that game because I watched AJ Brown put his foot all up in our butthole that game. It was very demoralizing as a Titans fan to watch that game. And that's why John Robinson got fired after that game, because he should have been fired because you make a stupid trade like that. Yeah. And it was,
I was thankful though. I was thankful.
Of course your ass was thankful. Every Eagles fan, don't do that. Don't be like, oh, yes, of course you're thankful because you got AJ Brown for basically peanuts because we didn't even.
I said it to you on halftime.
It was I remember when we were like, someone said, yo, Mike, I think they're going to trade AJ Brown. And I said, no, there's no way. There's absolutely no way the Tennessee would trade AJ Brown. Mike Vrabel said as much, and I did not believe it.
So I work the NFL draft every year. And so I was working that night. And when I tell you that came across, we were all like, hey, whoa. What did you just say? Who? The Titans are trading him to who? Blew our minds. We were absolutely blown away that they were trading AJ Brown. Absolutely blown away. Like we weren't ready when that came down.
I wasn't ready. So, I'm
still
not ready.
Keep hope alive. It's gonna work out someday. Someday we shall overcome. We shall overcome.
I have nothing. I have nothing to say. It's very depressing.
But the good thing is, that free agency starts on Monday. Maybe it's time to make some moves.
Maybe you get it. Then maybe you finally get a WR2 over there. I don't know who your WR1 is. I
guess it's Calvin Ridley.
Oh yeah. There you go.
I guess he's our number 1 too. He's the best wide receiver. He's. I mean, they don't even use him right. So I mean, whatever.
No, not at all.
I don't know what we're doing, man.
Get a veteran quarterback, man.
They still trust Will Levis. They still think Will Levis is the man. I'm not even joking. They're all sold on Will Levis.
Well, good luck. Good luck, Big Mike.
Next topic.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, we're going to sign off now because I don't have anything more to talk about because they just basically demoralized me as a fan of my lovely Titans. Anything you guys want to sign off with before we sign off for next week? Anything else?
I'm just going to say, I'm looking forward to Monday, the free agency. It's going to be a blast. I'm looking to see what kind of moves teams make, how teams are trying to get better, how some teams are going to try to get worse. And that's what I'm looking forward to.
Listen, it's certain teams that we know we can count on. The Browns are going to be a clown show, and they're going to make no moves or dumbass moves. Raiders are probably going to stay the same stupid team that they are. You know what I mean? The teams that we know will capitalize and know how to make the proper moves. Like I think the Commanders are going to make some moves because they have a new ownership in there and they're willing to take more chances. You know what I mean? The teams that have good ownership, good GMs and stuff like that are going to make better moves. We can always, and if at the end of the day, we can always count on the Cowboys to give us a nice, lovely laugh to enjoy.
Oh, yeah. They're going to sign Kirk Cousins as a backup. $3 million. They're going to trade
I have $160 million in quarterback money.
Hey man, make the quarterbacks great again. No. I mean, listen, I don't even know what to say. Free agency is going to be interesting for sure. I'm curious to see, like I said, where Aaron Rodgers lands. But yeah, that's all I got.
Tennessee Titans.
Listen,
the home of Aaron Rodgers.
I swear, let me listen. Don't make me rant. If Tennessee Titans and Aaron Rodgers, if Tennessee says, you know what we should do, let's go sign mushroom eating psychopath anti-vaxxer Aaron Rodgers as quarterback, I will be like, I'll lose my mind. I'm gonna literally lose all of my brain.
You don't think he could help develop your boy
to do
Will
what?
Levis?
To eat mushrooms? What was he gonna eat mushrooms while eating mayonnaise now? Like no.
Hey, you never experienced ashwagandha. Maybe it might help.
Listen, I'm gonna talk to my ownership of Tennessee Titans. If you sign Aaron bleeping Rodgers to any kind of contract and put him on our team, I will literally do a rant. Like if we do if next week or the week after, if they sign him, I am gonna literally allow Smooth I'll ask Smooth to allow me 10 minutes to rant and cuss you guys fuck out. If you guys sign Aaron Rodgers to any contract, I will lose my shit. I'm gonna lose my mind. I am trying to keep my blood pressure down. Do not, Tennessee, make me raise my blood pressure and do a rant on y'all. I am trying my best to remain somewhat optimistic about whatever. I don't even know what I'm optimistic about because the season we're gonna suck probably. We're probably not gonna be
the draft.
Oh God.
There you go. You look forward to the draft.
You gotta know
and free agent. There you go. See, smooth. Free agency starts on Monday. You got free agency. Make some good moves. They won't, but could make some good moves come Monday. Follow it up in April with that draft. Have a nice solid draft. There you go.
Well, there you go. I mean, you have something to look forward to, right?
I don't have nothing to look forward to, but that's neither here nor there. We're gonna sign off. Thank you everyone for watching. Hopefully you guys check it out. We are on YouTube. We're on Apple, and we are on Spotify, people. So if you want to get your podcast fix, if you're on the go, you can't, watch our lovely faces. You want to go, when you're doing your thing, you can listen to us on the go. We're on, and we also have an Instagram account as well. I'm working on a TikTok, but we're all out here, people. So we're a nice little button podcast. I want to thank our lovely homie NFL girl for blessing us with her presence. I know she's a celebrity and she's busy with life, but she is a celebrity.
Thank you, NFL girl.
Thank you, NFL girl, for blessing us. Hopefully, again, I say this is gonna be a running theme. Hopefully, Vio will join us next week. We'll see.
We'll see.
We'll see what happens.
Listen, text him and he tell him he missed having when I came on. So.
I told him that you were, NFL girl. Funny enough, I told him you were coming on. I still not have heard from him yet, so we'll see. But I guarantee you, when he does see the text message, whenever he sees it, he will probably be like, "Oh shit, she was on. Get her on next week or get her on again," and we'll see. So we might have you as a recurring guest in the meantime, if you will allow us to grace us with your presence.
Grace, yeah.
Oh, here we go. Here we go.
We'll see, because you're busy. You're busy. You're out here doing your sports thing. But no, thank you so much. Your insight was very good. You know your stuff. Like again, we know you for years. You know your stuff. Obviously, you ain't no novice, so we definitely appreciated your context and perspective. So.
Absolutely.
I appreciate you guys having me on. So
of course. So next week we'll be on. We'll see how we'll probably do a recap of free agency and all that fun stuff. But anyways, if you guys have any, feel free to comment. Especially if Smooth has any crazy takes you guys want to comment on again, Smooth will be gladly willing
smart
to
takes. Smart takes,
not hot takes, smart takes.
Smart takes.
So feel free to comment, and we'll see you guys next week. Peace out, y'all.
Peace out.
There.